Got my 2 tubes drawn and we are done. Now we just wait 2 to 3 weeks or maybe even 4 weeks. Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today's video is a little bit different of a video for me, other than the fact that I'm starting it in the car, because I am the queen of starting my videos in the car. I'm actually filming this part a little bit later than I wanted to, because I didn't have time to film it on my way to my doctor's appointment. I was running a little bit late, but based on what I'm titling this video, you probably already know that I am going and getting genetic testing done to see if I have any of the known mutations for different kinds of cancer. So basically, I have a friend, Jordan. I don't know if she's watching this, but she went to school to become a genetic counselor, and she was, we were talking about it a lot and everything, and through her and just through like some general healthcare knowledge, I have learned that being Ashkenazi Jewish increases your risk of breast cancer specifically, but also quite a few other kinds of cancer by a pretty significant amount. I am 100% Ashkenazi Jewish. My mom and my dad are both 100% Ashkenazi Jewish. So, we have an increased risk, basically. And so I decided to get referred out to a genetic counselor, and I had my Zoom video appointment with her last week. And in that appointment, she basically said that she thought that it was a good idea for me to go get genetically tested to see if I have any mutations, basically. So I went and got tested for every mutation that they know causes cancer, increases your risk of having cancer. And it's the ones that they can like do something about, basically. So it's like breast cancer, colon cancer, ones where they can, increase your screening or do some sort of preventative treatment or something like that. Basically, I could have gone and gotten tested for a lot more things, but there wasn't necessarily anything that they could do with that information for some of them. So basically, if I had come back positive for some sort of mutation on that part of the panel, there would have been no sort of way to screen me for cancer any better than they already do. There would have been no sort of treatment that I could get, nothing preventative that I could do. And I decided that I didn't want to know if I have a mutation that I can't do anything about. That felt like it would be very anxiety inducing for me to like know that I have a mutation that's there, it's increasing my chances of getting a specific type of cancer, but there's not a single thing that I can do about it. So I decided to just get the panel that included every mutation that there's an actionable thing that we can do if I have it. She also encouraged me to get tested because even though I don't have a family history of really any type of cancer other than my grandmother had breast cancer in her 80s. I don't have any known family history of genetically based cancers or really much cancer at all. But my family is very, very small. My dad is an only child and my mom has one brother. So they don't exactly have a very good pool of genes to pull from to necessarily indicate that I'm at a lower risk. She basically told me that, it's good that I don't have any family history, but that's not enough to rule it out, obviously. I don't quite remember the exact statistic that she gave me about how increased my risk is of having a BRCA mutation compared to the non-Ashkenazi Jewish public, but I believe that I have a 1 in 40 chance of having it. If that's wrong, I will put the correct information down below on the screen. I will put the correct information below, like I said, if it's wrong. But basically, she encouraged me to go get this testing. She thought it was a good idea, so I went and got my lab drawn today. And basically it is going to take 2 to 3 weeks. Like I said, it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks to come back with some results, maybe even 4. I can't quite remember if she said 2 to 3 weeks or 3 to 4 weeks, but basically I have to now sit and wait. I'm a very hard stick, if you guys didn't know, so it was a little bit of a production to get the labs drawn, but they are drawn, and yeah, now we just wait. She will call me regardless of my results, so I will know when they come back regardless, and then based on the results, we make a plan if something comes back positive. But yeah, I just felt like if there was a way for me to get tested and for me to know if I have it, or any of them, not just BRCA, I want to know because I want to take action against it. I just think that if I ended up with breast cancer and it ended up being BRCA, a BRCA type of breast cancer, and I hadn't gone and gotten tested for it early, I think I would have really been mad at my past self, because this way, if I do have it, then I know, and there's plenty of options for me to help reduce my risk of actually getting cancer, especially late stage cancer, because they would do increased screenings for me. That's why I decided to go get tested. I figured filming this process would probably be pretty informative, especially for those of you who do not have this like healthcare knowledge that I have being a nurse. I think sometimes like these options and things aren't widely made known to people. My insurance is going to cover most of it. I do not know exactly how much it's going to cover quite yet, because the lab has to receive the sample before they can tell me how much it's going to cost, because everybody's insurance is a little bit different, but my out-of-pocket costs should be no more than $100. So even with my insurance covering it, I shouldn't pay any more than $100. However, it might be fully covered. And something else that they went over during my genetic counselor appointment is that if you don't have health insurance for whatever reason and you do choose to go get a genetic test, your insurance company, your health insurance company, cannot consider this a pre-existing condition. They can't ask you about genetic testing or charge you more if you do know you have a genetic mutation. So that's super important, as well as even if you don't have health insurance, getting this genetic test cannot prevent you from getting health insurance. The only thing it would be a pre-existing condition on is life insurance, just so you guys have the information that I was able to get from my appointment as well. So basically now we wait, and I will add another clip in on here with what my results are and kind of what's next. Hopefully I come back on here and I'm negative for everything. I don't have any mutations, and I can just live my life without worry that I might have them. And then that's kind of nice, you know, like you're born with these mutations, they're passed on through your family. So if I don't test positive for them now, that means I won't test positive for them. They're not acquired mutations. So I think regardless of the outcome, this is going to provide me with a lot of important information and provide my family members with important information too, because if I do test positive for one of them, it would probably be beneficial for some of my family members to go get tested as well. So with that being said, I will talk to you guys in my next clip. So today is November 8th. I got a phone call this morning that my genetic testing had come back. So I just got off the phone with the genetic counselor about an hour-ish ago, with my results, and I do have the check CHEK2 mutation, CHEK2 mutation. I very luckily do not have any other mutations. And basically, she very quickly over the phone just kind of ran through that with this mutation. I do now have a 30% chance of having breast cancer, which is significantly higher than the like national average, if you will. I believe that the national average is like roughly half that. So I am at increased risk of getting breast cancer, and then a more slightly increased risk for some other cancers. So with that being said, because I did test positive, if you will, for one, I have a more like formal follow-up with her at the end of this month. So in about 3 weeks, I am going to have another virtual visit with her, and we're kind of going to discuss what's next, basically. I would imagine that's going to be starting to get mammograms earlier than you typically would, maybe even more advanced types of mammograms. I'm honestly not sure, but after I told my parents that I was getting tested, my mom also went and got tested shortly after me for a bunch of mutations as well. She does not have her results back yet. So we don't know if I got this one from her or from my dad, or kind of what's going on with that. But yeah, so at least I have inspired one person to go and get themselves tested if they want to know and be able to prevent something potentially. So yeah, I will be honest with you guys, I don't really have words to describe how I'm feeling right now. You know, there's a part of me that's relieved that it's not a BRCA mutation, because that would be much worse. But at the same time, it's like, well, I didn't really want any mutations at all. And obviously a 30% chance is not a 100% chance, which is reassuring. But it also just kind of sucks. I certainly cried when she told me over the phone, and it's obviously very scary to know that I am more likely than the average person to get cancer, and I am more likely to get cancer at a younger age than the average person. She did mention in our phone call that these things usually come up in people's early 40s. I'm 25 years old, so in 15 years I will be 40. Which also then means, you know, there's 15 years worth of medical advancements before I'm in that like extra risk age, I guess. I don't really know what I'm trying to get at here, but it's certainly scary to hear, even though like that's the whole point, right? Like I went to go get tested so I would know, and now I know, and now I'm scared that I know. But the good thing is now I know and I can do something about it. So I'm sure that means I will start getting mammograms soon, maybe even this year, and probably more often than even my mom would go and get them probably. So I don't want to just keep rambling. Those are kind of my initial thoughts. I will film another clip if I'm able to more adequately put my thoughts into words. Otherwise, I will film another clip after my follow-up appointment, kind of with what is said there and what the next steps are going to be. So I can kind of just like wrap up and really include this whole process. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, November 28th. It is 9:50 a.m. My follow-up starts at 10 through Zoom. So I am logged in the waiting room, ready to do my follow-up. and I will kind of let you guys know what is said, give you an update when I'm done. It is 10:45 now. My appointment ended about 15-20 minutes ago, and just wanted to give you a little update as to what was all said. Basically, she kind of said everything she already went over with me about how my risk for breast cancer is about 32% compared to 12, which is kind of like the national average, and that my colon cancer risk is almost 9%. It's like 8.5 compared to 4.5, and that I will start getting breast screenings, like breast MRIs, at 30 and colonoscopies at 40, and I will get breast MRIs every year until I turn 40, and then at 40 I'll start kind of incorporating mammograms into that, and then I will get colonoscopies every 5 years instead of every 10. She also did mention that, you know, with this kind of science being ever changing and ever evolving, that, you know, they're constantly researching other cancers this mutation can be associated with, and so I will need to follow up with the cancer genetics team every couple of years. She said every 2 to 3 years, just to make sure there's no additional guidelines or additional screenings they recommend. And other than that, I am being referred out to a high-risk breast specialist team, and I will start my appointments yearly there. And then I will start going to a gastroenterologist at 40. So that is kind of the end of this saga until I start going and getting my yearly screenings. But I did just want to make this video in case there's people out there who don't really know anything about genetic testing or are curious, or maybe don't have as many resources as I do and are just curious as to what it entails. So I hope that you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.